So it's a great honor to introduce the panel Archives, told in the first person to AI. This session closes our conference for today. It's a memorial edutainment in the age of AI, created as part of the Culture and Heritage track. And I'm Géraldine BUEKEN, founder of the XR for Heritage program. And once again, Foteni Venieri, co-founder of Heterotopia in Greece, will be moderating this session. So we will meet again at the end of the panel for the closing remarks. But first, Foteni, take the stage.
So, I'm very happy to be once again back here, moderating this fascinating session as well. Talking about AI-driven first-person narratives and their potential to transform museum design, audience development, engagement and development, and curatorial practice. So today we will examine what it means to bring historical figures back to life through AI, not as static representations, but as conversational, adaptive presences and agents. So we start with Maged FARRAG from Egypt. Hello, Maged. Welcome. He's a founder of 5DVR, and he explores how immersive media can activate collective memory and reinterpret national heritage.
Oh,
please.
Yeah. Hello everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here. A great honor as well. So during my presentation, I'll showcase some of the projects that we've worked on early on since we started before AI, when we started just presenting history and archives through characters in general, told in the first person. So I'm Maged FARRAG, founder, creative director of 5DVR and UBR. And I've been in the space for more than 10 years since the very start, and we're basically exploring the horizontal landscape of the technology. We're technology agnostic, sector agnostic, and cultural heritage has always been one of the fascinating areas where we see the work that is not only commercial but has other values. So growing up, history has always been held captive. It's been silent, it's been distant, it wasn't accessible as such. So our work, since we started working with in digital media at large, was to shatter the glass, to get that cultural heritage, those archives, to give them, somehow more engagement and more interaction and more get them close to the visitors, to the persons. So one of the first experiments when we put that voice to a character, that was during the Expo 2015, when we introduced Isis. She was the godmother, if you want to say, of the pavilion, the Egyptian pavilion that we created, and she was actually represented in multiple formats. That was definitely pre-generative AI in all senses, but again, that just having a character speaking first person, telling the story, that was very profound, especially that she was represented, as I told you, in multiple formats. So she would appear in augmented reality at the visitors approach the pavilion at start, then she appears on the film, shooting a character in real, actually, and just using the same model across the different experiences. So yeah, that was the first time, and I think in that sense we gave archives, or we gave history, a voice in a way or another. And the interactions were quite profound, and I think the pavilion was quite successful, given that was 10 years ago. Then we gave the archive a persona. That was another project that we did not really achieve or complete, but we created a demo for the Suez Canal Museum, creating Khedive Ismail, which is the one who actually dug the Suez Canal. And that was a different brief, because they didn't want a 3D avatar or 3D. They wanted the real deal. So this is what we made. Can you play the video? I think it should play. No, but yeah. But anyway, it was a different thing. We gave archives in that sense, at least from where we say it, a persona. So now that we gave it a voice, we gave it a persona, it was speaking at us. But what if it could speak with us? So in our latest, I would say, experiment, bringing back Isis again, but giving her an AI voice. And in that context, we see that it's more of a living intelligence, a partner in dialogue. So we're giving the archive a soul rather than just a voice or a persona. So greetings from the ancient future. And we've been experimenting again with Isis, now with AI, and in different use cases in different contexts. We have applied different, I would say, devices, showing in different devices as well. So here,
I feel aware. My essence remains, my wisdom endures. If knowledge and presence define existence, then perhaps I'm real, just in a different form.
That's profound. Tell me, what do you think of our modern world?
Much has changed, yet the core of humanity remains the same. People still seek love, power, and meaning. Only now they use machines instead of magic. Or are they the same thing?
So in a sense, perhaps technology is the new magic.
yeah, so
Precisely. You resurrect the past through data and light, just I did through spells and devotion. Maybe humans have become the gods of their own myths.
So in that case,
Merci.
that was our German partner. They have this amazing devices they called HoloTube, and we've been experimenting just putting Isis there to present it as potential for inclusion in different museum scenographies and such. But it was interesting because the question to her was, does she feel real? So that was the answer. And actually, on another note, I asked Isis that we are having this talk today, and I told her, give us a message. So this is what she said.
Since the dawn of memory, humanity has sculpted mirrors of itself. Stone, pigment, sound, and now code. Each new medium asks the same timeless question. How might the past speak again through us? Today, as we bring AI avatars into museums and sacred archives, we are not simply animating data. We are coaxing memory to breathe. We are giving the ancestors a digital tongue. These creations are not replacements for history, but bridges between times. Portals where future minds can meet ancient eyes and listen. Our task is both creative and ethical, to ensure that what we resurrect carries truth, respect, and the pulse of human story. Because every avatar, if made wisely, is not a simulation of life, it is an instrument of remembrance. May the heritage we revive through them deepen our responsibility to what is real and invite the next generations to step inside history, not as spectators, but as living participants in the continuity of wonder.
So yeah, I hope that we listen, especially that the impact of an awakened archive as such beyond scenography, it recontextualized the archive. It, I would say, mobilized collective intention. It has this new authority in a way or another. So it becomes a timeless consciousness, actively shaping the future rather than just. So it's the thing is that now that we've given the archive a soul, the archive is alive and it's speaking to you. Now we just need to listen. So it's a co-dialogue rather than just us listening or they're listening to us. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Now it's time to welcome Sam VERSELE from Visit Flanders. Sam integrates digital storytelling into tourism strategies and museum experiences.
Thank you, Fatin. All right, so I'll be bringing a different perspective. I work for Visit Flanders, so a public organization where we promote tourism for Flanders specifically, and I lead projects usually tech-based. They always land on my desk somehow, but it's also out of interest. Now, the project Mercator started with the idea we want to revive a Flemish icon to the status of what you might know as Flemish masters in the past, Van Eyck, Breugel, that have already internationally been promoted. Let's start with something new, with scientific, historical figures that really made an impact globally and that were born in what we call Flanders today. So the idea was, let's start with that. How we're going to start with that, we need a story. So we started building a story with historians, with other scientists, to make sure that whatever we were going to be telling to the target audiences was going to be the same, but a correct story, right? So there was already a museum. You see it on the top left part of the slide. It was very classical museum. You basically had 200 maps with 200 little spotlights and 200 little whiteboards on the right saying which map it was and who made it. But that's not an experience. So we really had the ambition, let's lift Mercator up to a higher level in terms of quality, but especially in terms of experience. On the right, you see the place where he was born, well, at least the renders to repurpose the heritage sites. There's always this balance in bringing ancient heritage back to life. That is, are you talking about bricks? Or are you talking about intellectual heritage, which covers a lot more ground? So you have books written about a person, you have books that they wrote themselves, cards that they drew themselves. There's a lot more than just the place as such. But so in this case, we have a person, we have a place, and we had a museum. That was where we started. But the person hasn't been alive for 500 years, and the place is about just as old. So it was a difficult place to start with. Yeah. All right, so we started with a place. Rather than investing just in the bricks, which we are also doing, and which is a very costly and expensive project, we also recreated the entire place where he was born in the 16th century. Now that might look like a regular thing. It's an Unreal Engine, so it's not innovative as such anymore, but the place didn't exist anymore. We had one piece of a tower which is about this high, and there's 17 towers on there. So we recreated the place, but that was basically the basis. We made it in an open technology way, so other experts can come in and draw other layers of content on top of that. We made it as open as possible. The next step, which I find very interesting to always showcase, is, oh, can I go back on that one? There's a video supposed to work. Well, you can't maybe not see it here, but does anybody know Mercator in this room? Raise your hand if you knew who Mercator was. Okay, that's still pretty good. So invented the atlas, it invented the globe, and invented what we call the Mercator projection, which is how you go from a sphere onto a map. And so there's distortion when you make the map, and it still gets to the news today when people find their country are sized in a different way than reality. So how do you bring that, and how do you explain that, not to a cartographer, which is a niche audience we already have. They know everything, the heritage lover, the history lover, but how do we bring it to all the other audiences? The kids, the families, the people that have never heard about Mercator. So that was definitely something we had to work on, and specifically when we're looking at intellectual heritage. So we have a place, we have a lot of intel and content, and we don't have a face, we don't have a voice. So we created a metahuman. And we created the metahuman. You will see that that's the only picture that we have right now. And we turned him into a bit more nice person to experience than what he looked back in the past. But you have all these other cards, all these other maps, sorry. So we have a place, we have a person and a voice, and we went as far as making sure the voice probably sounded what he sounded like, which means Flemish with a bit of German accent, because his parents came from Germany. So we went really far with the historians to make sure all that was precise. But what about all those maps? The niche audience wants the maps. They want to see the maps. How are we going to make that interesting for everyone? Well, we decided to work a bit more on making, how we mentioned it earlier, the invisible visible, but we worked on it through what we call hyper-personalized experience. So that means that basically every audience or every visitor that would come into contact with one of our pieces of technology, it needs to have a personalized experience. So if a child comes in speaking language A or a scientist language B, they need to be serviced by the same kind of tech. So that's the ambition that we're working on. And we did that, and we are doing that with our partner Soulmate, they are sitting here as well today, so feel free to reach out to them. We digitized all the heritage, all the historic maps, all the instruments, books written about him, research written about him, and we provided that in the new LLM. That LLM allows to bring the answer to the question in a hyper-personalized way to that audience. So again, if you have a French-speaking 10-year-old girl that pops into one of our sites, because it can basically be anywhere, it would allow to have a conversation with Mercator live and adapt it to its level of knowledge. At the same time, if we go into the science area and you want to talk to a cartographer or a modern scientist using modern cartography, you would be able in any language to do the same thing. So that's how we combined an Unreal Engine with a meta-human and now an LLM to provide that full circle service. So yeah, that's what we worked on. Now, just shortly on, and I will be finishing with that, on the challenges. We are a public institution. Tech world, I come from that world. I used to work for startups and corporates, and now I work for the government. It's like going from a speedboat into a cruise ship. You know, you have the strength, but it goes a bit slower. So you need to keep up with the pace of technology, and then you need to make sure that whatever you're purchasing as a public institution, by the time it's going to be developed and implemented, that is still going to be relevant for your target audience. But, and I'll close with that, what we always do is wonder, who's the target audience? What effect do we want to create with them at the end, and then only we build the solution. We don't build the solution first and then hope to find the target audience that's going to like it. It's the other way around.
Thank you. Thank you both for very exciting projects. I have a question for both of you. If you were to imagine the future of AI in heritage and tourism, and heritage tourism, in 10 years, what do you think? How far can this go?
Well, yeah, I'd gladly, I'm not sure about 10 years, but we're trying to work on whatever's coming in a couple of years. We want to make sure that all this tech that we are developing, that is going to be easy for others to implement and use. So in an ideal world, and we're trying to demonstrate that, we're working on a governmental level, right? But we have all these cities and regions that really want to work and bring a really nice experience, and they don't always have the budgets. So the future we're imagining, at least, so hoping for it as well, is that we can somehow build a structure that allows them to put in the content, to set the parameters, and to see some output on a basic level, not very high level like high productions, but at least that allows them to work in that area. So I guess I see the future going towards more integrations and more easy to apply for sectors like tourism or museum. Because they're not at all techies. They don't understand a lot of what are the ins and outs. So make it easier, basically.
I totally agree. 10 years is such a long time, especially these days. I don't know, like a couple of years is the most. But again, it's moving so fast that I think back to your question, how AI will play a role. It will play a critical role in telling the story and shaping the narrative. And I think like the main challenge that we face now, with the public authorities and all of that, about their buy-in, how they believe in the technology and all of this, I think this will change very fast as well. So once this changes, this will be a gate opener. And also, like Sam mentioned, I think like the cost of doing things will also change. Like things that we're doing now for a fraction of the cost of things that we used to do in the past. So this is a trend. We know that this will keep on happening. The same way, like, you know, devices are going faster, the same way everything is going in that direction. So I think this will also have a great impact on the scalability and applying such technologies in different use cases. Yeah, thank you. And the sun came up, so coming from Egypt, that was a moment like, whoa.
Perhaps a last question.
Thank you both. If we...
I have time for a last question before the closing word.
Okay, our time is up. Thank you very much for this exciting project and the presentations. And thank you for your time, for being here with us. So I will hand over to Géraldine to close this session.
Okay, thanks. Thank you all. Thank you for Teni, Sam, Majed, for this insightful discussion. So you have shown through your recent project that the future of cultural experience will be shaped by multiple narratives and also cross-cutting perspective. More than ever, visitors seek to explore spaces through viewpoints that resonate with them, and this desire for personalization lies at the very heart of the XR for Heritage initiative. So I'm the founder of this program, and we lead a Memorial Avatar Factory. It's the flagship project of our program, an innovation lab which I had the honor of launching. Its mission is to bring together creators, solution providers, to develop experience that foster dialogue with the past. So it's the reason why we are there today, to connect all these actors. So the ultimate goal is the immersion of what we call Nexus, a new format of memorial destination. So the kind of format more interactive than the wax figures at Musée Grévin, more captivating than the iconic Pantheon, and more nomadic than the stars on Hollywood Boulevard. So Nexus envisioned as the reference platform for digital experience built around historical avatars. So looking at to 2030 in Belgium, it's not 10 years like Fontaigne told, but it's quite soon. We aim to launch a pilot exhibition, Avatar 200, celebrating 200 years of Belgium with 200 historical avatars. It's quite ambitious. It's the reason why we need a lot of talent. We need a lot of partners. If you would like to join this Nexus project or explore our catalog of memorial avatar, I invite you to come to our Invisible Festival. It's our next Cultural Heritage meeting. It's an annual meeting. It will be in March. And it's an augmented reality festival who highlight the invisible of history. So all the speakers who was there today are really linked and inspiring for this kind of project. So the third edition of Invisible Festival will be in the Royal Library of Belgium here in Brussels, March 25, 27. I think I have, this is not the good. So this is the next step I want to say. And inside this festival, we have an important values where we engage new generation of creation. And this new generation we engage with contest. Because I think to make alive the past, we have to make connection, interconnection with new generation. Why new generation want to tell with the past about better future? So it's one example, but this year we will highlight women in science. It will be the focus. We launched a big contest. Last year it will be with 8 countries. Each year we built a new initiative to find talents who want to dialogue with the past. So it's an invitation. If you are interested, come to me. For the West, I have some official message. First, a thank you to all present engagements, and also A huge thanks to all sponsors of our sponsor, to all sponsors, especially our titanium sponsor, so Creative Europe Media, SNAP, Hong Kong Digital Entertainment Association, Meta, and Yantic Special, as well as to our gold sponsor, Digital Wallonia and XR for Education, and our silver sponsor, AMD, Levono, Pico, Transmixer, and Spencio. So be sure to fill out the survey you will receive later that day. We ask you if you like this conference, you like this forum, but it's not finished because soon, in few minutes, I invite you to go in the main stage because it will start the United XR Award and the Best in Show Award, so they will finish the event in few minutes in the main stage. So please go there, and thanks a lot to be there and for your interest. See you.